guys, today I'm filming my Hit It or Quit It Thoughts on Hauls number 69. If you guys have never seen one of these videos from me before, I'll have my playlist linked down below. And I did skip this video last month, so I believe now I am at finally showing you the products that I filmed in a haul 1 year ago, exactly 12 months back, to give you guys my current thoughts on these products. For a while, I was at like 10 months back, but now I'm at 12, which makes it pretty easy. And I am just gonna give you my thoughts on everything that I hauled. I will have my original video linked down below, and I will list and link all the items that I mentioned. And if you guys cannot tell already, I am finally filming with a new camera that I got for Christmas. I know you guys are like, seriously, Heather, it took you so long. And honestly, it took a couple comments and it took Justin like pestering me about it to finally use it. I don't know why I'm like this, but I am with my computer. Like anything new I get, I'm just nervous to use it, and I put it off and I put it off and I put it off, which is so dumb. So this is my first face-to-face video that I filmed, so I'm trying to figure out where to look. I actually have a viewfinder now, which is exciting, but I'm trying to look into the lens right now, and I'm not sure if I'm looking in the right place. So this video is going to be all over the place. I also haven't messed with any of the settings on this camera to see about lighting, so I'm going to try to fix everything I can when I'm editing, and we'll be working with it. So just please be patient and understanding in these next couple videos with the lighting and where I'm looking. Here is viewfinder, and right here is lens. So lens, viewfinder. So we'll see if I am looking a little bit up here. Please forgive me, I'm not used to having a viewfinder. I've literally never had one before. I've always just set up a mirror behind my camera, and if that's something that's easier for me, I might go back to it. We'll see, but I am just super happy and proud of myself that I finally started using this freaking camera. So let's just jump into the products. So starting with some things that I had purchased from Ulta during their spring beauty event. So this first thing was an IT Cosmetics eyeshadow brush that was on sale for $5, and it is the Airbrush Angled Eyeshadow Crease number 117, I believe. The writing is starting to fade off, so this is just an angled shadow brush, and I had purchased this because it was $5 and it was IT Cosmetics, and thinking this would be a good like outer corner stamping brush, and it is nice for that. But for the past 2 months probably, I've been using this to highlight under my brow bone, and that is actually working really well for me. I do love the shape of this brush, and for me it does fit perfectly in that area. I was using some Wet n Wild eyeshadow brushes for those steps, and I decided to use this one and one from Morphe instead. I do use a combination of brushes. Absolutely love it. So this is now my go-to brush for that step. This is really nice quality. This shape in general is not a must-have for me, but I am really impressed with the quality, and that was a really awesome price. And the next thing I purchased was the Hask Charcoal Dry Shampoo. I have used this up completely. It is not my favorite, and I thought I would love this. So you do get a lot for your money. The container is actually very big, and I'm very oily, so charcoal is right up my alley. That's what I love for skincare. I thought it would be amazing at soaking up the oil in my hair, and it wasn't. It did an okay job, but I've tried several other dry shampoos I think work much better. If you're looking for a comparable but better charcoal dry shampoo, that would be the one from IGK. I think that one's a really good. Dry Bar is still my favorite dry shampoo. There are several others that I really enjoyed. This one was really just not great to me. It took me a long time to get through. So again, you do get a lot of product for your money, but it did not soak up all the oil. It didn't make my hair look fresher. It didn't give any more texture or grit. It just did not do anything for me, and I would not repurchase that. The next thing I have is something I just used for the first time today. This is the Ulta Beauty SPF 50 Rose Water Setting Spray. It has a matte finish, water resistant for 80 minutes, UVA and UVB protection. This does not expire until January of 2021. So I was planning on panning this summer, but after using it today, I decided I'm just gonna pass this on to my sister, who spends a lot of time outside and this will be something nice to layer on top of her other sunscreen products. I have learned from you guys that this is not enough to use on its own, which was very helpful information. So this will be good for her to use when she's outside, when she's wearing makeup. Again, I hate being outside. I hate the hot. I hate the sweat. I hate the bugs. She loves being outside. So I think she would get more use out of this. And I think this one actually has a really nice mist, which I was surprised by. I don't know if you guys will see that. You guys, this camera can autofocus. Let's try it. Oh my gosh, is that freaking cool or what? You guys know I've never had that before, and look how quick, and it doesn't make any of that click, click, clicking sound. Not that I'm noticing anyway, but yeah, like, anyway, back to the product. So this SPF setting spray reminds me a bit of the Coola. I don't know what it is about this, what the ingredient is in this. It smells like a little bit cucumbery, which I don't like the smell of cucumber. A lot like alcohol. Like the Coola one will like sting if it gets anywhere near your eyes. It's way too intense of a smell. This is similar but a little bit less of that intensity. It does say it's rose water. I noticed the rose a tiny bit, but honestly not that much. And I literally just put my makeup on before this video. I powdered my whole face, but if you guys can tell, I'm still shiny on my forehead, and that's because of this. Now, it's hard for me to give this a fair review because I've used it once, of course, and that's just a first impression, but my face is feeling like a little oily, which I don't like. You guys know I like a matte finish, and it could be because this has been settled for the year since I've bought it, and that was my first use, but I don't like that it feels like a tiny bit greasy. It's not bad, but for someone that loves like a pure matte finish, and this says it's a matte finish, I'm not in love with that. So I just have a lot of other sprays that I would rather use up, and I think that my sister would get better use out of it. Now, if I give this to her and she does not like it, I probably will end up taking it back, but I do think she'll get some good use out of this, and I'm glad it doesn't expire until January, so she can hopefully use it up this summer. But for me, no, like just use SPF under your makeup. I actually love the Super Goop Unseen sunscreen. It has like a primer consistency. That one's really awesome. I would definitely prefer that as a sunscreen makeup step. This, I just don't love the scent of it, and I don't love that it makes me look a little greasy. Now, if you like dewy skin, I do think you would like this. I, of course, don't know how well it does with prolonging the wear of your makeup because I just put it on before this video. So I'm sorry I don't have a full review to give you, but I'm not super impressed. Then I did buy 2 ColourPop Super Shock shadows. These were repurchases of mine. And the first one is Daddy, which is a matte purple. This is a pressed pigment finish that says it is not safe for the eye area. You guys don't even know how much I'm going to be doing this. I'm so excited. So anyway, this is only 1 year old. It has completely fallen apart. When these originally launched, they lasted me such a long time. The formula was so good, but like when they redid them or whatever, they're kind of crap. Like these matte, like neon shades are terrible. Like when I ordered these, I got one that was completely broken. Then I got another one that was broken. So I tried to mush it back together, but it honestly started looking like this, like right after I bought it. So no, I think the color is pretty on the lid, but it's not very easy to blend out. I am able to get it opaque on the lid, but then I have a hard time blending other shadows into the crease with it. I think it looks nice on camera, but in person, I just don't love it as much. The next shadow I have is Snapdraggon, which is a matte finish. This is a beautiful green shade. If you can tell, there's a slight crack in there. I have not used this one. I have before. I used my original one, and this is another color I love to pack on the lid with some neutral to warm browns in the crease. I think it looks very beautiful, but I have Belladonna Lily, which is similar, and I don't use these a whole ton. So I wanted to put up a little poll question here. Should I keep this shadow and use it, or should I put this in a giveaway? Again, this is something that I have had in my collection, but it is completely untouched. So let me know how you feel about that. If you guys are like, no, Heather, it's been in your collection, you've opened it, you've looked at it, no, that's nasty, don't put it in giveaway, then I won't. But just let me know your thoughts. I haven't used it yet. It's a good color, I just don't use it enough. And that one is not all effed up like this one is. So I do think that's a nice product, a pretty color, but in general, I prefer more of a shimmer shadow on the lid than a matte color. Next is something I purchased right off the ColourPop website. And this is something I bought, I think, right when it launched, which I never do. This is the Sweet Talk palette, which is so beautiful. I absolutely love this packaging, and it's very reflective on the inside. So here are the 12 shades you get. I'm wearing this on my eyes today. I think this palette is stunning. The only colors I don't like would be the two pressed glitters, but I've only used this one. I haven't even used that one. If you guys have any tips on how to wear and apply pressed glitter, please let me know in the comments. I have tried a glitter glue, but let me know if there's certain brushes or your finger or any tips you have, let me know. It's just hard for me to wear pressed glitter when I do wear contacts. I feel like it gets in my eye, and like, if you guys have contacts and when you get things in your eye, you know it feels like there's a freaking stick in there, like so intense. But I do love this palette. Besides the two pressed glitters in that really dark color, I use everything else. You guys know I just don't use dark shadows, but this is like the prettiest dark shadow I have in my collection. I'm annoyed because it's not, oh no, I'm annoyed because it's not looking the truest on camera. It has like more of like a warm red to it, like a pinky red, really pretty. But this is my favorite ColourPop palette. I just love the shades in here. I think these matte salmons are actually very, very unique, and you can get a lot of different kinds of peachy looks within this palette. Really, really do enjoy this. Highly recommend that one. Next are a couple things that I purchased from TJ Maxx and Marshalls. The first thing was the BareMinerals Gen Nude Copper Eyeshadow Palette. I love this marble packaging. I think it's so cute. And you do get a nice size mirror, and then you do get 6 shades in here. And I have used all of them except for this dark matte brown. I thought this one would be a nice primer setting shade. It's not for me. It's a little too dark. So this is something I can use as kind of like a buffer base transition color. I would definitely say these two shimmers in this matte would be my favorite from this palette. They're very pigmented. The metallics are really intense and foiled, which is really impressive for BareMinerals. That's not something I expect from them, but I will admit I haven't had that much experience with their pressed shadows. But this palette is really, really good. I don't think I would buy this from Ulta because it is only 6 shades, because I haven't reached for it that much since I've gotten it. But for TJ Maxx Marshalls price, it's great quality, and I am very happy to have this in my collection. Next was the Balm Batter Up Shadow Stick in Dugout, which was a shimmery metallic bronze color. I did end up returning that unused. It was a pretty product. I love the Balm shadow sticks, but they all end up looking a little bit darker on me than they look in swatches, or even than they look in person. So it's just a little bit darker than my preference, but I do love that shadow stick formula because it's very pigmented, it's really easy to apply, and it doesn't crease, and it's very long lasting. Next, we have one of my favorite products of 2019. This is the Urban Decay Afterglow Highlighter in Sin. This is the most beautiful golden champagne highlight. This is a go-to for summer and fall for me. You can tell I do have a little bit of a dip in there. I did actually purchase a backup of this, which is crazy. This is the only backup highlighter I have in my collection because I do believe these were discontinued, unfortunately. It's very smooth on the skin, but it gives an intense sheen, and I do have textured skin, and I think this looks beautiful. It's such a great shade. This is definitely a holy grail highlighter for me, and definitely recommend that one. Next, I had purchased the Japonesque Kumadori Contour and Highlight Brush, and that looks like the NARS brushes. I did end up returning that. I could tell that it was just gonna shed all over the place and looked a little bit flimsy, so I decided I wouldn't even waste my money on it because I do have other things that are comparable. Next, I have another brush from Japonesque. I believe this is their Buff and Blend brush. Unfortunately, the names are not on the brushes. It just has numbers 962 on it. This is a really awesome duo fiber powder brush. It is very, very soft, and I think this brush has a good amount of density, but there is a little bit of flexibility in there as well. This is really, really nice if I'm wanting to pack on loose powder or press powder foundation or sweeping it on. It just works really well. I cannot use too loose of a brush with loose powder or else it just gets everywhere. I do think that the Morphe Jeffree Star foundation brush from his first launch is better with loose powder, but this one is really nice as well. But it is good with pressed powder that helps give you some coverage, really helps set your skin, very smooth. This is a really awesome powder brush. If you do see it at TJ Maxx, I would pick it up. And the last thing was the Becca Glow Essentials Kit that came with 4 products. The first was one of the Becca glosses in Champagne Glow, possibly. It was just like a basic shimmery nude gloss. I just wasn't that excited to try it, so I did pass it on to a friend. And I was really interested in this for these 2 products. The other one that was included is the Becca First Light Priming Filter. This does give a nice glow to the skin. It's a little bit more hydrating. This primer is just okay for me. I will use it up, but it's not something I would repurchase, and it's not a favorite. However, what I'm currently panning is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. This is a really awesome glowy primer that actually works with my oily skin. Let me know if you guys would like me to do a whole video on dry skin favorites that work for oily skin. I'll put a little poll up here. I hope I remember. We'll see. Or y'all please remind me if I don't. But I love this primer. I actually have 2 more backups of this size that I've been able to luckily get as freebies or in kits. So definitely recommend this primer. And the last thing in the kit was something I was really excited about. This is a mini of the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector pressed in Moonstone. I believe that this size is valued at $20 or $22. And this is 2.4 grams or 0.085 ounces. So Moonstone is a color that I've heard is amazing for fair skin, and I do think it's very nice, but it is like a natural looking highlight on me because the base color is very similar to my skin tone, and the base color and then like the way it looks in the light is very similar. So I think that's very pretty. It's a great natural highlight for me that gives a beautiful glow. It doesn't look textured on my skin, but it's not like a wham bam highlight, which is good for me for every day. So this is something I do think I'll get a lot of use out of, but I'm not as in love with it as I thought I would be because it doesn't have that intense reflection on my skin tone. Next, I had purchased 3 items from the BareMinerals outlet, and the store was closing down, so I think everything was like 60% off, which is a great deal. So there were 3 things I purchased, 2 from NARS, and then 1 from BareMinerals. So my BareMinerals outlet started carrying NARS, a few like discontinued Laura Mercier products, nothing that I was interested in, unfortunately. No shadow sticks and no like regular translucent powder, not surprised. And what else? I feel like some like really, really fancy brands, but like NARS and Laura Mercier were the ones that I cared about. So those products were on sale as well, which is really awesome. So I did buy 1 thing from BareMinerals. This is one of the Gen Nude Radiant lipsticks in the shade Kitty, and I believe this was a discontinued shade. And if you guys saw my thoughts on hauls from last month, I believe it was last month, is when I talked about the things that I had picked up from the spring Ulta 21 Days of Beauty. I had purchased a bunch of these lipsticks, and then I bought this one before I tried the ones from that haul. Then when I got back, I tried them and didn't love them, and then I was stuck with this one. I believe it was final sale, and or I wasn't gonna go back to that outlet anytime soon. So this shade Kitty is a really pretty like light peachy pink shade. These do have like a nice medium pigmentation. They're buildable, and it has a very glossy finish, which is really pretty. It just wears off really quickly, which for this kind of shade is fine. And if you guys can tell, I have used a decent amount of this. This is in my current project pan, and I do regret buying this just because it's not something that I need. I like this, but I don't love it, but it is something that I do see myself using up. I do think it's a good like slap on purse lipstick. So now that I've been panning it, I don't regret it as much as I did before, but I definitely could have, you know, kept that money in my collection, but it's okay. I wouldn't say to go out of your way to buy these lipsticks. It's like they last on your lips for like 30 minutes. which is not good. Like if something lasts for like an hour to 2 hours, amazed. I'd be super happy with that. Okay, we're back. My camera overheated and I had to wait about 15 minutes for it to cool down. So I'm gonna try to get through the rest of this video. So the last two things I had gotten from the BareMinerals outlet would be two NARS products. The first is the Velvet Lip Liner in El Agua. I bought this because Shades of Cassie and Miss Lola Lynn have raved about this on YouTube for years. I mean, it's been a while, but I remember when this was all the rage. So this is what the lip liner looks like. It's a really pretty pinky purple color, very beautiful. Oh gosh, it would match perfectly one of those NARS lipsticks. I feel like it was really hard to find like exactly like this, but I do think this is a pretty color. I haven't used it a whole ton. I think I have other mauves that aren't as purpley as this. They're a little bit like more neutral. So I do need to find other things to pair with it. But as far as the formula goes, this does apply really easily. It is very creamy, but it does set, and it is almost like a little bit thick and slightly tacky, which I know sounds weird, but it's good for a lip liner because it will stay in place and it will help your lip product stay on your lips instead of like feathering outward. So I do think the formula of this is really nice. I'm used to the ColourPop lip liners, which are very, very creamy, and I definitely really enjoy that formula. So this is just different for me, but it is a good one. Like I said, don't use it a whole time, but I definitely don't regret buying it. And then the last thing was a repurchase. This is a NARS Velvet Lip Glide in the shade Bound. I had a little mini that I had gotten in a Sephora play, and I was so excited to see this shade in person. And now you can find these at TJ Maxx and Marshalls for a really good price, but back then it wasn't popping up at the store. So here is what that swatch looks like. I always thought this was more cool tone, but when you see it compared to that lip liner, you can definitely see the warmth in it. It's a little bit rosier. I love these glosses. These are some of my favorite because they are like a medium coverage gloss. It's a very creamy formula, super smooth. It isn't very sticky, which means it's not the most long lasting, but it also doesn't fade in 30 minutes or so. I actually really like this formula. It just has that great balance. For me, I don't like full coverage glosses like the Anastasia ones just because they're a little bit sticky and they feel too intense on my lips. This is perfect, very smooth, it doesn't feel heavy. It's very creamy on the lips, but it does give some good coverage. One random thing I've noticed, let me know if you guys have had the same thing happen to you. I feel like as this wears off, it dries my lips out a little bit, and sometimes I feel like when I'm wearing this and I'm like breathing in deeply, I get like shortness in breath. Is that weird? I don't know if I'm describing that right, but I feel like it's almost like my throat dries out a little bit when I wear this. It could be the time of year. Again, this is the color I wear in the winter time, but I notice it specifically with this lip product. My lips dry out as it wears off and my throat dries a little bit, but I still love it. Like, I don't think I'm allergic to it or anything. I still love it. I'm still going to use it. Definitely recommend these glosses, and I don't think they're being discontinued, but they're not being sold everywhere, and you can find a lot of them at TJ Maxx, so definitely recommend that. Next would be a gift from my friend Erin. So we decided to swap a couple things we had gotten from Sephora Play. So the thing she had swapped me would be the Amika Perk Up Dry Shampoo. The scent of this is like thornberry, huckleberry, something like that, but it actually smells really good, and I'm surprised I like that. I don't usually like berry scents, or I don't really like scented products in general, but it smells really nice, and this does a great job of soaking up all the oil in your hair. It's a really phenomenal dry shampoo. I definitely recommend it. Just is pretty pricey, and I think I do prefer the Dry Bar for an expensive dry shampoo, but I would be happy to get any more minis. If it was on sale half off, I would pick it up. The other thing she sent me was a mini NARS Laguna bronzer. Here is what this looks like. This is something that is in my current chopping block, and that's because I just am not in love with the color or the formula. I don't think it's bad, but just compared to other things that I have, I reach for those over these. The color is just okay. It's something that I would need to contour with because it's too dark for me, but it does have a bit of a glow to it, so we'll see what I end up doing with this. I know it's such a cult classic product, and I'm just not in love. Next we've got my Sephora Play for April of 2019. And the first thing was my little freebie. So it's like a foil sample essentially, or like a card sample of the Clinique Take the Day Off Cleansing Balm. This is a product I do really enjoy. I think it does a great job of breaking down all my face and eye makeup. It leaves like a little bit of residue on the skin, but really not bad, and it doesn't burn my eyes or my skin. Definitely recommend that. Then I got a mini of the Clinique High Impact Mascara. This is just a basic mascara. It has like in between a wet and dry formula. It's a natural bristle brush, very basic. I don't like it. I continue to put them in giveaways whenever I get them. Then I have the Makeup Forever Step 1 Mattifying Primer. Even though I'm very oily, this is not something I can apply all over. I can only do it through my T-zone, or else my makeup will look very patchy on top of it. This is also something you have to apply a specific way. There are other matte primers I can just like slather on. This, you have to be careful with it. So I apply a little bit on my fingers, warm it up on my skin, and then I just have to press it in. It works fine for me. It does control oil decently well, but I just don't like the way I have to apply it, and I don't like how finicky this is. So I am going to actually declutter my little mini to one of my friends, and it's not something that I would really recommend. Even though I'm oily, I much prefer the Too Faced Peach Perfect Matte Primer and the Cover FX Matte Primer. The Murad Oil Control Mattifier, those are my top three. I do like all those better than that one. Peter Thomas Roth Skin to Die For, that's a matte one that is really good as well. So yeah, I have other matte primers I think are just as mattifying and easier to apply, so I would not repurchase or recommend that. The next thing was the Fresh Sugar Advanced Lip Treatment. I'm always so excited to get Fresh Sugar lip balms in Sephora Plays because they are a great value. And this one was very hydrating. It had like that nice natural light lemon scent. Used it up, enjoyed it, don't like it enough to repurchase. It's so annoying that the little minis break. I've heard the full sizes don't break like that, but it's still very annoying. The next thing is the Glam Glow Good in Bed Passion Fruit Softening Night Cream. Have not used this one yet. It's getting to the top of my list of oldest moisturizers, so I should be reviewing it for you guys in the next couple months in my 365 Days of Samples series. The same with the other one, which is the Youth to the People Adaptogen Deep Moisturizing Cream. Haven't used it yet either. Then I got some PR from Algenist, which was super exciting. That would be the Algenist Prebiotic Balancing Moisturizer with SPF 15 and the Alive Prebiotic Balancing Mask. Unfortunately, I did not use either of these, and I did decide to pass them on. As you guys know, it takes me forever to go through skincare, and I want to pass things on while they're so good to friends that will get use out of them, so I don't have thoughts to share with you, and I do feel bad about that. Like, I was super grateful for Algenist for them sending me those products, but I just didn't use them. Then I got some things from Pixi from the Glow Tonic line. Their Glow Tonic Toner, which is a holy grail favorite of mine. Their Glow Tonic Cleansing Gel and the Serum, have not tried yet. The Phenomenal Gel, haven't tried. The On The Glow Multi-Use Moisture Stick was just a weird product for me. It's more of something for looks. Yes, it does give moisture, but then it feels kind of like greasy. It makes me think of like those like roll-on stick sunscreens, which I'm not into. So that thing, I think I used once and then I gave away to a friend. So as you can tell, I have a lot of things I need to get through. I think I really need to go through my skincare stash, samples and full sizes, and get rid of some stuff because it just takes me forever to use them. And I've been focusing so much on my minis that I've neglected my full sizes. So anyway, guys, I feel like I was extra rambling in this video. And again, please let me know what you think of the quality of my camera. I'm really excited about that. It's a Sony A5100. I'm excited about it, but please bear with me as I am working with where I'm supposed to be looking here and the lighting. If you guys are familiar with this camera and you can give me any tips on lighting settings, or if you're familiar with iMovie and can give me more tips with editing on that, I would greatly appreciate it. And I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.